Brilliance Audio presents The Promise by Robert Crais. Performed by Luke Daniels and MacLeod Andrews.
The woman stood in the far corner of the dimly lit room, hiding in shadows like a fish in gray water. She was small, round, and dumpy. The fringed leather jacket probably made her seem rounder, but she'd never been a looker. She reminded Mr. Rollins of an overripe peach, and the peach was clearly afraid. A steady rain fell from the overcast night. The dingy one-bedroom bungalow west of Echo Park reeked of bleach and ammonia, but the windows were closed, the shades were down, and the doors were locked. A single yellow 25-watt lamp provided the only light. The chemical smell gave Mr. Rollins a headache, but he could not open the windows. They were screwed shut. Rollins wasn't his real name, but the man and the woman probably weren't using their true names either. Amy and Charles. Amy hadn't said 3 words since they arrived. Charles did the talking, and Charles was getting impatient. "How long does this take?" The chemist's answer was resentful. 2 minutes, dude. Relax. Science takes time. The chemist was a juiced-up, sleeved-out rock pile hunched over the coffee table. A hiker's LED headlamp blazed on his forehead. He was heating the contents of a glass jar with a small torch while watching 2 meters that looked like swollen TV remotes. Rollins had found him cooking meth 8 years ago and used him often. Charles was a trim man in his 40s with neat brown hair and the tight build of a tennis player. Mr. Rollins had made 3 buys off Charles in the past year, and all had gone well. This was why Mr. Rollins let him bring the woman. Only now, seeing her, Rollins wondered why she wanted to come. She damned near pissed herself when Rollins searched her and made them put on the gloves. He made everyone who entered the house wear vinyl gloves. Rollins did not allow food or drinks. No one could chew gum or smoke cigarettes. The list was pretty long. Mr. Rollins had rules. He smiled as he adjusted his gloves. "They make your hands sweat, don't they, Amy? I know it's a pain, but we're almost finished." Charles answered for her. "She's fine. Tell your man to finish up so we can get out of here." The chemist mumbled without looking up. "Fuck off." Rollins smiled at Amy again and glanced at the round plastic container beside the chemist. It was filled with a material that looked like yogurt and felt like modeling clay. "Where'd you get this?" Charles stepped on her answer again. "I told you where we got it." Rollins considered pushing his pistol up Charles's ass and popping a cap, but he did not let his feelings show. "I'm just making conversation. Amy seems nervous." Charles glanced at Amy. "She's fine." Amy's voice was whisper-soft when she finally spoke. "I made it." The chemist snorted. "Yeah, right." Then the chemist sat up and gazed at Rollins. "Whoever made it did a righteous job. It's the real deal, brother." Charles crossed his arms, smug. "You see?" Rollins was impressed. The material in the Tupperware was not easy to come by. Charles claimed the woman had 200 kilograms. "What about tags?" The chemist turned off the torch and unplugged the meters. "Ethylene test shows 0. I'll know parts per million when I run a samp at home. But the stuff is clean, bro. No tags. Untraceable." Rollins thanked the chemist, who packed his equipment into a green backpack and let himself out through the kitchen. A light winter shower pattered the roof. Charles said, "So, now what? Are we in business?" Rollins sealed the lid on the Tupperware. "The buyer will test it himself. If his results are the same, we're golden." Amy spoke again, and this time she sounded anxious. "I'll make more for the right buyer. I can make all they want." Charles took her arm, trying to turn her away. "Let's see their money first." Amy did not move. "I have to meet them, you know. That's a requirement." "Not now."